Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for
Hello.
joining our weekly stream for Meet Your Neighbor. I'm Anis, and today we have Natalia, and she's going to help us understand the differences between job search in both Russia and the United States. We'll compare experiences, and Tamara, if you would just introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Tamara. I'm Director of Compliance, and I'm a Russian lawyer. And now I live in Uzbekistan after I living all my life in St. Petersburg, Russia.
All right. And Natalia, since you're our esteemed guest today, please introduce yourself.
Mhm. Thank you for having me here. I'm Natalia Samoilova. I'm a business coach and career coach. My former experience is entrepreneurship in field of marketing, advertising, and organizing some events, global events. And now I also live in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, after living in Russia.
All right. Sorry, I had some sort of internet. It cut off the last part of your statement there. Um, just as a curiosity, and I just want to add, Natalia works as the also serves as our board secretary here for Brain Drain, and
Right.
she kind of keeps us all in line, and you know punishes us when we're bad and rewards us when we're good. So she keeps it going for us. All right. Uh, and I just want to keep in mind anybody who's watching this live, just type your questions into the chat and we will get to them as quickly as possible. All right, let's get right to it and we'll start with the Russian perspective. How do people in Russia generally look for jobs? What are the key tools and platforms used today outside of just sending a resume? Or is that done?
Yeah, Russians use interactive platforms. The biggest online job platforms, like the biggest one is Headhunter, Superjob, Работа.ru. They also use some platforms like VK or some Telegram channels. So there are some agencies as well, and
Okay.
they are specialized on some premium vacancies, especially for senior technical positions.
All right. Uh, so in that case, let me just try to imagine this. I think here in the US, I know that people use a lot of Indeed as a platform. And you're saying those platforms is somebody who's looking for a job. They would go to that platform, submit their resume, and hope for the best.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And it's really interesting to me to compare. Uh, do we have any differences, or the system is absolutely alike? So let's try to find what's interesting here in this topic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
mhm.
how about the use of LinkedIn? Is that something that is used extensively there?
Now LinkedIn is blocked, so you can't use it on the territory of Russia. You can use it in Uzbekistan, and it's kind of popular here because this resource is really effective. But before it was blocked in Russia, it was popular, especially for some for some vacancies from international, transnational companies.
Okay. Well, describe this to me, if you can. Somebody just graduates. How do they start their first search? How do they start their first job right after finishing university? And how important are internships for them?
Of course, internship is very important to start your career. All recommendations from professors, from other students, any experience at any work during the studying is very important to start your career. Networking is so valuable. So many people find jobs through friends, former colleagues, or professors. I think we have the same picture in USA.
Uh, I I think it's the same. It's been over 40 years since I've had to go out there and look for, that type of thing. But I know that it's changed. LinkedIn was not nearly as what it is today. And yeah, there's the relevance of Indeed, which is a resume uh, search tool, if you want to call it that. That came almost towards the end of my career, let's put it that way. It came out later, but yeah, it was a lot of networking, as you said, because we spoke about the main platforms and the tools. You mentioned, I think you mentioned VK, and what was the other one? Oh, Telegram.
Headhunter,
Okay.
Работа.ru, super job. VK, it's like a huge environment which consists of TV shows, social network, and also the platform for job searching.
If I recall correctly, VK was their version of Facebook. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It starts like social network.
Okay. All right. And like I said, I know the younger people seem to be in tune with what is social media. I don't necessarily understand it all that well. Okay, so what
I
is a
think,
standard requirement? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I think social media are very important in this process because we as Brain Drain, we are using social media to announce our vacancies, and I'm sure of so many companies are having response from their candidates.
I never said it wasn't important, and I don't want to get that impression out there. I'm just saying that at least I'm not giving up my age by saying that we used to send smoke signals, but that was just never the platform that we got accustomed to using. And even now, I think, as you noticed earlier, I used the phone and I called somebody. And today, I think in the newer generation, whether you're on the receiving end of that information or the output, that's simply just not done. It's usually a text message or a message through social media. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but that seems to be where you get the response.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Okay. So standard requirements for a CV or resume, or do you call it a CV or do you call it a resume?
We usually call it resume.
Okay.
In Russian, it sounds like resume.
You got frozen there for a second.
Oh,
In Russian, you call it what?
resume.
Dume.
Resume, the same.
Oh,
The same
resume.
word.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely the
Okay.
same. So
All
what's
right.
the standard requirements?
Yes. Yeah. What do you normally include? What should be omitted?
Yeah, you should admit your experience, your education, and your working experience, employers' experience. You need to include your age, city of living, your photo. Photo is very needed for all HRs, for all decision makers. Your resume need to be not longer than 2 pages. Personal hobbies are optional, but
Okay.
photo is common.
You mentioned something there that kind of triggered me a little bit. You said age.
Yes.
That you have to include your age in there.
Yes.
Okay. Which
Yes.
I think in the U.S. climate, that seems to tell me that that is something that is almost something that we omit, and it's not to be considered and whatnot. I don't know. That's I think that's a one big difference. We're not supposed to hire based on gender or age. Um, Although it's kind of hard not to determine somebody's age, when they tell us, that they graduated from university, but they've been working at this one company for 40 years. We can kind of do the math and figure out, what their age is, but it's not necessarily that it has to be stated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the photo is something that's a little bit different. Yeah. It's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily done here, which I think leads to the popularity of LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting that all HRs nowadays are very professional social media searchers, investigators, and can find out all your pictures from all your social medias.
Yeah. The one thing is, there something in your experience, have you seen something in a resume that just does not belong there, that you would tell your prospective client, you need to get that out of there?
From time to time, like resume fashion, if I can say so, changing. So some days it was common to write all about your hobbies, for example, all about your character. Are you hardworking? Do you like where do you like to spend your free time, and so on? But the fashion changed, and now this information isn't very common. You can look useful. So now HRs are only looking for some professional skills, knowledge, and so on. So it's changing. Mm-hmm.
How many stages does somebody go through, a new applicant, before an offer is made, before employment starts?
Mm-hmm. The usual procedure is 2-3 stages. In some cases, it could be 4-5. if there are a lot of tests on the way. First stage is interview, phone, online screening, interview with HR, and then the second or the third interview with department head, with decision maker. For some roles, test assignment or professional exam may be required, and employee will be notified about how many stages are there on the way to the last stage.
Okay. All right. And how widespread is the practice of a probationary period? And what happens if someone fails to pass it?
That's a great question, but don't you forget to tell me about USA, because it's also very interesting. How many stages do you have?
Let me see. I wish I knew. As I said, maybe one of our viewers will be able to tell us, how many stages. But I do see that it is the same in many ways, from what I recall. And we're talking about almost the previous century, but very similar to what you described. You have that interview with the HR person, and then you go on to other interviews, usually with the department head and whatnot. They're the ones that make that decision. I don't recall anything with testing, though. I do know that it is something that is done, in some occasions where they will actually have them sit there and take a test and see what their knowledge or skills base are and whatnot. Because I think in the USA, many HR people do not trust the education system anymore. As far as getting somebody prepared for a job, if that makes sense.
That's interesting to discuss too. Yeah, to understand. Okay, back to probation period. It's very common.
Yeah, probationary period. That is something that is used quite common here.
Yeah, it's pretty common. Most contracts include a probation period from 1 to 3 months. For some leading role, it could be up to 6 months, and it will be written in contract as well.
Okay.
So it's time when you can see what's the company, and company can see what's your strengths in this vacancy, in this job.
Okay. Tell me about salary expectations during an interview, and what stage does this conversation typically happen? And I think I can tell you that from the American experience, most, I think, interviewees have a rough idea of what the salary is going to be. But is that the same there in Russia?
Probably 10, 15 years ago, all salaries were written, all rates were written right in vacancy announcement. Nowadays, most of them are hidden, and probably some some from what to what, how to say, some range from what to what. Yes. And during the interview, salary expectations are usually discussed. Candidates often indicate their desired range in the CV. So HR knows about expectations, and negotiation is normal. So
Okay.
you can talk about it freely from the first stage.
Well, that kind of brings us to the next one. What is the process for asking for a salary raise? Who do you approach and what arguments do you use?
That's very interesting because we have, in Russia, we have very ongoing process of inflation, ongoing inflation from
Yes.
year to year. And this inflation is always analyzed and announced by government, the rate of inflation. And as employer, we need to raise minimum paid rate. Am I correct?
Minimum paid rate?
How to name minimum salary, minimum range of salary.
Yeah,
We have
we call it a minimally. It's an hourly wage. The not necessarily a salary. It's an hourly wage, and
wage.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
that
we
is
we need to keep, as an employer, as a company, we need to keep minimum monthly salary on the level that government recommend us to keep, and paid more than this level. So the process of raising salaries is ongoing from year to year, and it very depends on the area. For example, my good friend, she has bakery. She produces cakes, and there is ongoing battle for bakers in her city, because bakers can work until some bakery in the area propose them more. So they go, and she's looking for a new one, and this is I don't know, so difficult to run a business in such conditions. But yes, it depends on market.
okay. Let me say this, and we had this question that came in, and it also occurred to me. Is there a minimum wage in Russia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how much is it? Just as a, and is it enough?
Not absolutely not enough. I can be wrong. I'll try to name it in dollars.
Okay.
A moment. It's about $280 per month for 42 working hours. So I can divide it on 42. Yes, it's $6.8 per hour.
We're not that much different as to a minimum wage. I believe the federal minimum wage for the United States is $7.25, $7.25 or $7.23. I'm not really sure what the exact number is. I know the practical one is that you're not going to find too many people to work for that wage, so they bump it up. And I also know that some states insist on $15 per hour.
Yeah, Manus, but very
But
important
there's no,
detail. I
there's no
misinformed
requirement that you have to
you.
work 42 hours.
Yeah, I misinformed you, but because 42 hours is just 1 week,
Yes.
right? 1 week.
Yes.
But if we're talking about monthly payment, it's 280 per month. We need to divide it into 42. We need to divide it into 88, right? No. 1 moment. 42, 168 hours per month. So 1 moment, 285. We have $1.6 per hour.
Okay.
It's minimum range.
Yes. All right. Yeah. It's still. I know that our minimum wage here in the United States is still not enough, and I think one of our audience members, Mr. Rames, has pointed out that we have not changed the federal minimum wage in the United States since 2009. So it's not, and there's also, whether it's how many hours per week or whatever. So I know that there could be limitations, but most of them are at 40 hours per week. So now when you mentioned 42 hours, was that 42 hours a week?
Yes, 42 hours a week.
Okay. And let me see. Let me scroll down here real quick. And okay. On average, how often can an employee expect to have a salary or his performance reviewed, or maybe even a promotion?
It depends only on agreement between the company and the employer. So it could be monthly on monthly base, or it could be on just some project based. There is no regulations or rules in this field.
You mentioned that before, and you hinted at it a little bit earlier. And it seems as though there's when you say an agreement or whatever, it's an actual contract, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay. And how enforceable is that contract? Meaning that you sign a contract with me, and I choose not to honor it. What steps can you take?
Oh, we have labor. We have labor code, the Ministry of Labor and labor code, and all employers need to operate using labor code. So if we have contract and you decided not to fulfill agreement, I can complain to Ministry of Labor, and all employers very afraid of facing with it.
Okay. All right.
I hope I explain it clear. I hope you got the idea.
I got the idea, but I'm not really sure, because I also hear on, and I'm sure you hear stories, and maybe even you lived through where salaries were not being paid, and maybe after a while, the salaries would then get paid and whatnot. So if you're an employee and you don't receive your salary, what is it that you do? Where's your next step?
It's also very common when contract isn't signed. And in this
Okay.
case, everything could happen. You can stay without salary, and you can't complain to anybody. And
Okay.
why this happens? This is the question. From employer side, it's often happens because I don't know, probably this salary. They can name very huge amount. They can announce very huge amount of money and insist not to sign any papers. It's like, I don't know, scam. And there are so many people who agreed to take this job without any papers. It happens all the
Okay.
time.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that uh, in the United States, you typically would then, uh, as far as not getting your salary, you can file a claim with the Bureau of Labor. There's 50 states in the United States, so there's 50 bureaus, and you also have the federal one, and no, they would come down very hard on that employer right away, and you know, they would freeze his accounts. They would get that money to the employee as quickly as possible. So that's you know one thing. I mean, here I think employers know that there's going to be, as I said, some states are more severe in their enforcement, and other states are, maybe a little bit whatever. But I don't think you'll have too many people missing a paycheck in the United States. And, that is just that's why when I heard of that, it was just almost unheard of,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But since we're talking about that, what are there any unemployment benefits if you lose your job?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you lose your job and you can't find it for several months, you can apply for как это называется? How to call it? So you can apply for some committee who is in charge of unemployment, unemployment citizens. And
Okay.
yeah, and they will suggest you some job from government, from, for example, from some state companies, not a high profile job, but they even will suggest you to educate yourself for free. It will paid by government, and you can change your profession, even change your profession if the old one is not on demand yet. You can change it. You can go and get some new knowledge, some new skills for free, but you need to work to for some several months or several years to cover these expenses. Not for free, for
Oh,
salary.
okay.
Used to disadvantage to work then.
Then it sounds a little bit different than what we're used to in the United States. I hear if you lose your job, and typically they call it losing your job through no fault of your own. So once that is determined that you lost your job and it was not your fault that you lost your job, then within a week you will get payments from the unemployment insurance. There's a tiny little bit of amount of money that is taken from your paycheck, each and every time to pay for this insurance. And then that will pay, it was designed to pay 2/3 of your salary, and the idea of it was, for some it's a little bit more, for others it's a little bit less, but it's something that comes in on a weekly basis. And the idea is that you get 6 months to find another job, and then those payments will stop. Um, if for some odd reason there's something going on, you can apply for an extension. So you might get it extended for another 13 weeks or whatever. But I do know that eventually it runs out. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's a little bit different than what you're saying. You have to be unemployed for 6 months, or for how long?
As far as I know, there isn't any minimum period of unemployment.
Oh,
And
okay.
the reason also doesn't important. So if you lose your job and you don't and you can't find it for some period, for
Okay.
maybe probably months or two, I don't know exactly, you can apply for a help.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a different experience here in the United States. You lose your job, the first thing you're doing is you're filing for unemployment benefits. You do that the very first thing, and then you polish up your resume, and you work your networks, and you look for another job. But the very first thing you do is you file for that unemployment, because you want to keep those checks coming in. You want to keep that money coming in. All right.
Mhm.
Let's switch up a little bit here, and you know, I see it as inclusivity and discrimination questions, uh, and I would, kind of DEI, which is almost a bad word here in the United States. For some people, or whatever, diversity, equity, inclusion. Uh, Is that a thing in Russia?
In
Or,
Russia, DEI
yeah.
is not as central as in the US.
Okay.
Definitely not a thing. Definitely.
So
Large international companies promote it, pays attention.
yeah.
Mhm.
And are they criticized if they don't have enough women on the payroll? Are they criticized if they don't have? Well, I'm not really sure what minorities exist in Russia, to be honest with you. So I don't know if there's any requirements that a company or a large company must have a certain number of minorities or disadvantaged on their payroll.
The only thing is the only thing is employer need to pay attention is uh, the salary, the equity of men and women,
Okay.
and probably aging, because again 10-15 years ago you can even write the age of employees in your vacancy announcement. So we need people under 30 or under 40. Now it's not recommended, probably prohibited,
Okay.
but it still exists. HRs can deny during the phone interview the candidate's initiative.
Oh,
And yeah, this is the only I don't know, most important. We don't have minorities, and we don't have some regulation for employers about minorities.
so you're saying that I guess let me just clarify that and whatever with this question.
Yes,
Is it
please.
acceptable to for during an interview to ask questions about a candidate's family status, plans for maternity leave, or religious views, or age, as you mentioned? Is it acceptable to ask those questions during an interview?
Yes, that's a great question. It's acceptable to ask about age.
Okay.
It's acceptable to ask about religion, and it's not an issue. Uh, if only candidate don't want some special condition to some special working condition or working hours condition. If not, it doesn't matter at all. Maternity issues, it's sensitive question. It's not common to discuss it, but this topic could be discussed in some positions, in some companies, in some positions. It could be discussed.
Okay. And tell me about the fun part.
Fun.
Vacations, sick leave, parental leave.
Uh-huh.
What kind of things do you have in those areas? Do you get paid vacations?
Yes, we have 28 days of paid vacation. And
Okay.
yeah, and it's not like company paid it. It's your taxes and payments, which
Okay.
allows you to get this paid vacation. So
All
you
right.
paid for it. For it.
Okay.
In some positions, by the way, in some positions, for example, teachers, from elementary, high school, middle school, they have 2 months paid vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and some positions in north cities, in like Norilsk, like I don't know, Yakutsk, with very, very tough weather conditions, they also have extended period of vacation to have possibility to fly somewhere, to especially during the polar night or polar day, to change the climate, to change this
Oh,
all this environment. Mm-hmm.
when you say polar day, that's the day when you don't see the sun, right?
The polar day is when the sun is 24 hours a day. Polar
Oh,
night,
okay.
it's when there is no sun 24 hours per day.
Okay. All right.
And we have some cities with very huge manufacturers in
Okay.
such working in such conditions.
All right. Yeah. Um, yeah. The most, I mean, I'm not really sure how they count it there in Russia, but you'll hear somebody, they'll look at their employment agreement and they'll see 15 days vacation. But that, uh, when you combine it with the weekends and whatnot, it does come out to almost like 3 weeks or 21 days and whatnot. But does that work the same way? When you say 28 days, that's typical days that you'd be scheduled to work. It doesn't include the weekends or the holidays that you are not scheduled to work.
It's all depends on the company, because I had an experience to manage my own company for almost 20 years, and we have a lot of holidays in Russia, like in America, by the way, and some wants to take part of vacation together with some holidays, and if it's okay for the project, I don't mind. If
Okay.
it's if it's not okay, if I need this person on his working place, I will deny this proposal, definitely.
Ah,
And I
okay.
will explain why, of course.
Okay. All right. Now I'm curious. How many times do you deny vacation?
A lot.
Oh,
Believe
okay.
me, a lot.
All right. I'll, and what about sick days? Do you have
Hmm.
paid sick days? A certain number of
Yes,
days? Okay.
yes, we have paid 6 days, and it all depends on your the amount depends on how long the person has worked on this position. It's the payment is approximately from 60 to 80%, sometimes to 100%, but for the not for whole period of illness. For the first, company pays for first few days, and social insurance fund covers the rest.
Okay.
And company makes the payments to this social insurance fund.
Okay. That's the first time I heard that. The social insurance fund, is that sounds similar to our Social Security. but in many cases, we do have what is known as sick days and things of that nature. And then if it goes longer, it can be um, disability. Basically, it comes to disability if it goes longer. Uh, what about the parental leave or maternity leave?
Mm-hmm.
You have how is that handled in many of your Russian companies?
Mm. I've heard that um, American women don't have paid maternity leave, and it's
Um,
always makes me sad.
yes, it's not standardized, but
Mm-hmm.
some companies do offer it. Uh, I mean, here it is. I think it's considered leave, but there's no salary. I think what are the latest rules on maternity leave in the U.S.? I don't know. I should know. I think that might be. Um,
Okay, I'll tell you about Russia.
yes.
Yes, because we have Russian women have possibility to spend 140 days of paid maternity leave, 70 days before birth and 70 after, and they will get payment equal to their salary, monthly salary. So they will get almost 5 months salary payments. After this period, woman can take additional period of maternity leave, and from up to 1.5 years or even up to 3 years. And employer have to save her job place for her. So employer have to hire for this place somebody on temporary basis. And if woman decide to back to her job, employer need to allow her to do this. This is very important. This is kind of brings women some sort of confidence, stability, and some sort of calmness to have confidence to be with child.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other side, that this period after 70 days after birth, from 70 days up to 3 years, this period is unpaid from employer. Women can get some small payment from social insurance fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's related or whatever. I do understand that they were trying to offer bonuses for women to give birth to children and things of that nature. And I know I guess the term is demographics that has been plaguing a lot of countries all over the world where there's just not enough babies. So, yeah.
Are you talking about whom? American companies
No, I'm
or
talking about.
government?
I'm talking. Yeah, I know that there are some reports or stories that I've read where the Russian government was, in order to encourage women to have children, they were offering bonuses, a
Yeah.
certain amount of money, and
Yes.
that type of stuff. And I was just tying it into the fact that uh, if you study demographics, which is the size of the population, how the population is either growing or shrinking, um, the number of births is going down, per women, all across the world and
Absolutely.
whatnot. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I know that Russia is actually one of those countries that is in danger of what they call a demographic collapse. I think China is also there. And there's four other countries. Something tells me South Korea might be one of them. Germany is one of them. Germany, Italy, and you know, they're all suffering. Let's put it that way, where they just don't have enough babies. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with you. And
yeah,
some European countries started to pay for first baby, for the second baby, for the third baby,
yeah,
much more earlier than Russia, and it's working. It's really working, and it helps families to raise children. But now this problem is all around the globe. There
yeah.
is there is there is no problem in Uzbekistan
Okay.
because yes, the average uh, age of the citizens here is 27 years old. Imagine.
Yeah.
There are
Okay.
so many kids and youth here,
Yeah.
so they're lucky. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Uh, I think the real telling average that you have to go by is uh, the number of births per woman. And I
Mm-hmm.
even hate to say it that way because it's not necessarily just a woman's issue to have babies. That's something that I think men have to have play a role in that as well. But you know, uh, I do know that mathematically, just to keep the population numbers at the same level, it has to be about two. I think the number was 2.2, just a little bit over two births per woman uh, to keep the population number. And I know that the pregnancies, I think, is came down to like 1.6 or 1.8. So, but we're getting off a little bit off track. What about parental leave? Is there such a thing as that? Is it just do the men get to stay home with the babies?
Oh yeah, it's not the common practice, but they can. If they want, they can stay with the babies. Why not?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it like official into the fabric, I guess, if you want to call it, of society that you know new fathers can take off work for a period of time to spend at home with to help their wives and to help the babies and all that other stuff and not be worried about losing their job.
Oh, they need to decide between inside the family who will stay with babies and
Okay.
who will continue to work. But yes, it's become more popular nowadays
Okay.
because there are a lot of fathers who really wants to spend the time and who really makes it better than their wives. Why not?
Yeah. I know in the United States, you have that situation where you do get family leave, and I believe it's up to 12 weeks for a new parent. And but it's unpaid leave. Some companies do offer paid leave, maybe for the entire 12 weeks, or maybe just for a few weeks out of the 12. But I know that that is an option, whatever that can be used. And I think that's been since 1993 is when the law was passed. I looked it up during just a few minutes ago, and in my first go around with my family, uh, most of them were born by that time. Anyway, I know that there's a lot of times where the mother will take the first 12 weeks and then go back to work, and then the father will take the second 12 weeks. So they stretch it out to 24 weeks, before they have to worry about getting a babysitting or grandma or that type of stuff to keep working and whatnot. So,
Mhm.
all right.
As a mother of three, I can say that it's 12 weeks. It's nothing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
nothing. And and raising baby is very difficult. You need your husband here, you need your parents here, you need nurses here, you need so many help as you can get from everybody, because it's really difficult. So,
Okay.
so I wish every mother can get as much help as he can. Mhm.
All right. Before we sign off, I just want to ask the one question. It might be a difficult question. Uh, what is the current employment uh, outlook now in Russia? Are people nervous? Are people scared about keeping their job or finding a new job or finding a job? Or is everybody secure?
Um, People who are working for state, and this is very, very huge number. I don't know exactly. We are talking about 35 million people. In they are more confident.
Okay.
Those who are running their own business, especially a small one, is very, very nervous now. They become to film themselves to the social media. They become to screaming all around, look what is going on. We are losing our profit. We are losing all benefits because of raising tax, because of new tax regulations, because of new huge marketplaces regulations. So there is some signs that not everybody happy about it.
Okay.
And from market to market, it's very different, because we have some segments like coal industry, which is suffering now because of sanctions. So we have some industries, I can't say we, but people in Russia have some industries which is suffering now, and unemployment rate they're raising. We have some industries which is okay, if we can say
Okay.
so.
All right.
This is tough
How do you?
question. Yes, it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got that. It is something that is a little bit, a little bit tough.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
I mean, lately, I think there's a little bit of nervousness in the United States about job growth and job opportunities and things of that nature. There's a little bit of nervousness, but I don't think I think it's a little bit less than what you and others are, or those in that situation are experiencing in Russia. But there's also that kind of, I have to pick my words because I don't necessarily want to offend anybody. Uh, the fall may not be that far, for a Russian worker as it would be for an American worker. If an American worker lost his job, then he's falling down a pretty far path and whatnot. He does have a safety net with the unemployment. He does have a safety net with the Social Security and other, things, but eventually, that will get him some time. But still, it's, you know, um, and, you know, I don't necessarily want to sound flippant when I say it. I think this is something that has been experienced before in Russia, so they kind of know what to do. Does that make sense? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They just consider these times like crisis, temporary crisis, and this terminology is common, widely common,
Okay.
temporary crisis, and because they experienced a lot of crisis during have experienced a lot of crisis during last 30 years, they just encourage themselves to wait and live in this crisis until it ends.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our hour here. I'm going to just check the questions here, just to make sure we got everything here. Yeah, somebody, well, yeah, that is something. I think you also have something there where everything shuts down between Christmas and New Year's, correct? Or is it New Year's and Christmas where everything shuts down in Russia for what, 2, 3 weeks?
Oh, only 10 days.
Oh, only 10
No,
days. Well, for
12,
us, that's 2 weeks.
maximum 12. Yes,
Okay.
maximum 12. It's,
Well, yeah, for us,
it's
that's
not
2 weeks.
even 2 weeks. Close to 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in American terminology, we look at the 5-day work week. So
Yeah.
when you say 10, okay, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that's why we say 2 weeks, that type of stuff. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, uh, there's not official holiday in America, but it's an unofficial holiday where things slow down in many businesses except for retail between Thanksgiving, which is coming up, and Christmas. And then everybody else, their work seems to slow down. And sometimes, you're just putting in the motions. You're just making an appearance at your desk or whatever. You're really not doing anything between the week before Christmas and a day or two after
Mhm.
New Year's. So yeah, just that
You
different
know,
culture.
I will share with my experience because I started my own business in 1998, and in that times we have only 3 days of New Year vacations.
Okay.
First, second, third. Even first, second, 2 days, because December 31st also was like working day. And was enough. This was perfect. And when they decided to create this New Year vacation, it happens in 2001. I was so angry because I received a staff, a whole team of 20 who isn't working for 1/3 of a month, 10 days of a month, but I need to pay them for the whole month. And yes, because the seller, they are expecting the salaries and more of it. They usually ask to pay them in advance for some part of January, to buy some presents, to buy some clothes, to go for vacation somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's and after that period, since 2001, these holidays have become most unlike by me. If you can understand me. Sorry for my English.
So it's a holiday for the employee, but it's not a holiday for the employer.
Absolutely. You're always thinking only about how to collect more money on your banking account, save this money for salary, for future salary. Because 10 days of January, silence, without any project, without any cash flow, without any profit.
Yes.
This is very bad for business.
Well, just pretend that you're an employee and let's call it, and you could be happy.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been there.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the audience. Some of the questions I thought were right on target. And I would appreciate everything. And just keep in mind, we'll be here next week. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Manos. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for the topic. I hope it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
We will be waiting for feedback of the audience. Please write comments, write whether you like or not. It's all important to us.
Yes.
And subscribe.
Oh yes, do that too.
Press like button. Thank you.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something new. If you did, don't just vanish into the algorithm. Hit like, subscribe, and follow us on social. It's the easiest way to support our work and make sure you never miss what's next. Want to stay in the loop without relying on big tech's mood swings? Sign up for our monthly newsletter. And if you've got the means, donations of any size keep our programs running strong. As a 501c3, your gift is tax deductible where the law allows. Together, we can turn brain drain into America's next big breakthrough.